Samuel is the last judge of Israel, and at the beginning of the book he's born and looked after by a guy named Eli. God calls upon Samuel and tells him that he's going to do something awesome. He also tells Samuel that he's going to kill Eli and his family because his family blasphemes all the time. Now, meanwhile, the Israelites are fighting the Philistines. They have a battle and they're defeated, and they lose about 4,000 men. They think it would be a good idea, when they attack again, to bring the Ark of the Covenant with them so that God can help them. But it doesn't help, and they lose 30,000 men. On top of that, the Philistines actually capture the Ark, so Israel is fucked. That same day, a messenger travels to where Eli is, and Eli is an old man now, and he tells him about the battle, to which Eli's sons died, and he says, "Oh my gosh, we've lost. Eli, your sons are dead." And as soon as he's told this, Eli falls backwards off of his chair and dies, supposedly the work of God. Now let's just think about this for a second. God is omnipotent, and on this day he wanted to kill Eli, but he makes him fall off of his chair. Now God can do anything. He could have made Eli's head explode, but he made him fall off of his chair and break his neck. To be honest, God, a very mediocre way of killing someone, don't you think? The Philistines soon realised that stealing the Ark was a really bad idea, because wherever it goes, God rains down punishment on the towns, all the citizens get tumours, and rats come in and bring in diseases, which I find a bit heartless. It's not the fault of the citizenry that the town has the Ark. God just gives everyone in the entire town a tumour, even though it's actually the fault of the Philistines, not the people in the town. So the Ark is returned to the Israels along with a sincere apology and 5 gold models of tumours, literally, and 5 gold models of rats. So a little while later, Israel asks for a king, which makes God pissed because God is supposed to be the king. So God chooses a guy named Saul to be the king of Israel, who is anointed by Samuel. Samuel then says his farewell speech and says, "Saul, it's all up to you now, goodbye everyone." So after a short-lived campaign of Saul against pretty much every single human being who isn't an Israelite, God finally just snaps and says, "I don't like him. I don't like him as a person. I don't like him as a king. I want him gone. And he never listens to me. I hate him." The mistake that Saul makes to incriminate him so that he has to step down is when he attacks a city called Amalek. God commanded him to kill everyone. Women, children, men, babies, cattle, sheep, donkey, lambs, everything. Kill every single living thing in this city. So what Saul does instead is he attacks the city and he kills everyone, including women and children and babies and all the cattle and the sheep, but he spares the king and a few animals that are good. And God is infuriated. He's like, who is this man? Who the hell does he think he is? Kill the king and get rid of my king, because he can't do his job properly. Gosh. So Saul steps down as king, and the next in line is a little boy called David. Well, he's not little, he's a boy, he's not a man. David is the son of a man named Jesse, and here's what I kind of find a bit weird. David is this little scrawny boy, yet Jesse's sons, the rest of them, the elder sons, are, manly, they're muscular, they're older and more capable than David, but God gives no reasoning as to why he picks David instead. The war with the Philistines is still raging, and they set up camp in a place called Ephes Domim. So the Israelites go and camp nearby. Now prepare, audience, to hear the story of David and the Goliath. Out of the Philistine army came a man who was standing 3 meters high, which is completely fucking ridiculous. But anyway, we'll let it slide. So he starts shouting taunts, such as, "I defy Israel on this day. Send me a man, so that we may fight together. And if I lose, we will surrender. And if you lose, you will." This happens for about 40 days because the Israelite army is full of pussies, and none of them can actually fight this guy. Until David arrives with supplies, and he actually overhears the Goliath shouting, "Oh, come on, come fight me, you're all dicks." So David goes and picks up some stones and goes out to meet with the Goliath. Upon seeing David, the Goliath said unto him, "Come at me, bro." So David ran full speed towards the Goliath, got one of the rocks, slung it towards the Goliath and killed him. Brilliant. Yeah. Saul is proud of David for killing the Goliath, as you would be, but he kind of gets a bit jealous because David gets all the credit for it. I mean, who else would get the credit for it? So Saul is so jealous that he tries to kill David. He starts off quite subtly, trying to sort of send David into battles to get him killed. He offers David his daughter in marriage and says, to get my daughter you must go and get 100 Philistine foreskins. And I wish that that was an exaggeration. I wish that that was sort of just like hyperbole for foreskins. Ridiculous. But no. He was being serious, and David went above and beyond the call of duty and brought back 200 foreskins and counted them out, literally, one by one, making sure that he had 200 of them. You know, I'm not kidding when I say that that is the most disgusting thing I've ever read in a single book ever. Period. English people don't use the word period, but full stop, there we go. Soon Saul gets kind of tired of trying to subtly kill David, so he just all out throws a spear at him, and misses, and David escapes. The hunt is now on, as Saul tries to find David, but he keeps on failing and failing and failing. David uses the wilderness to hide from Saul. The Bible then kind of says Samuel dies. Not a big deal, Samuel dies. But the thing is, we've got another Samuel book after this, so what? Really? Samuel's dead? I mean, okay, fine, whatever, let's get back to the David and Saul story. David realises that to get away from Saul, he has to go into Philistine territory. He pretends to be on the Philistine side and says, I have changed my ways. You know I killed the Goliath and all that stuff, but don't worry, you can trust me. I am all for the Philistines. Anyway, we're approaching the end of the book now, and there's going to be one final fight between the Israelites and the Philistines. David joins the ranks of the Philistines, but the commanders of the army of Philistine say, well now, no, David, go home, because you're going to turn your sword on us and kill us. The book ends with Saul getting exactly what was coming to him. The Israelites lose the battle, and Saul is forced to kill himself. And that is the end of Samuel 1. Cheers.